All right. Welcome everyone to our webinar on advancing airport operations and development with a focus on information management and digital twins. Now, please note all attendees are in listen only mode during the presentations. This is to minimize the background noise. If you experience any technical issues, please reach out on the help icon and the technical team from GoWebinar will assist you. Note that the webinar will be recorded and this recording will be circulated after the webinar. After the presentations, we'll open the floor for questions. We encourage you to engage with our speakers by submitting your questions through the chat feature at any time during the webinar. I'd like to introduce Cohesive, a global trusted asset management consulting and integration services company. We empower complex infrastructure owners to maximize value throughout the asset lifecycle using data-driven strategies and innovative technologies like digital twins and AI. With over 700 experts, we provide insight-led advisory, seamless implementation, and advanced data solutions, enhancing asset reliability across sectors such as energy, transportation, and technology. Cohesive leverages top tech solutions, including Bentley's Infrastructure Cloud and IBM Maximo, where we are the world's largest implementer. We have a significant global presence with offices around the world and a team of over 700 cohesive experts. Our professionals are dedicated to delivering insight led advisory services, ensuring seamless implementations, and providing a range of advanced data solutions tailored to meet industry needs. Our clients are located on every continent and spans a diverse range of sectors. Cohesive has been named a market leader in asset management technology implementation by Verdantix, an independent research and advisory firm. In their latest report, the Green Quadrant Industrial Asset Management Technology Implementation Services 2024, we stand out among the 9 leading providers. We have also recently won the 2024 IBM Partner Plus Awards in the Americas. Our successful collaboration with Con Edison is a major utility provider serving 10 million people in New York, showcases our expertise in the IBM Maximo application suite. Now, let me present to you today's speakers, starting off with Hakan Engman. He is the industry director for airports and ports at Bentley Systems. In that role, he is leading the business development activities for the airport and port sectors globally. Hakan has a master's degree in engineering and has an extensive experience for software and communications industry, including IBM, Ericsson, BMC Software, as well as executive roles in several startup companies, leading to join Bentley as part of the acquisition of Agency 9 in 2018. Our next speaker is David Elliott. David spans both technology and construction environments, having spent most of his career delivering IT solutions within the construction environment. His expertise in the aviation sector, having delivered IT in major projects including Heathrow Terminal 5, Terminal 3 integrated baggage solution, and operational improvement projects. David has also been at the forefront of the development of digital strategies for large organizations in both aviation and other sectors. Our last speaker is Neil. Neil Posey has over 35 years of experience in technical and leadership roles, specializing in digital transformation across sectors like nuclear, transport, and energy. Since joining Cohesive in 2019, he has advised clients such as Heathrow Airport, national highways, on data-driven strategies and cultural change related to technology implementations. Before Cohesive, Neil spent 4 years at the Construction Industry Institute in Texas, leading technology projects for major capital programs globally. His previous role includes Senior Project Information Manager for Crossrail in London and Head of Information Management for EDF Energy's Hinkley Point C project. He holds a BS and a Master's in Construction Management and began his career in the British Army. Now, without further ado, I thank you again for attending. My name is John, your host for today. Please give a warm welcome to our speakers today.
Welcome to our webinar about information management and digital twins to advance airport operation and projects. Today it's going to be me, Håkan Engman. I'm the Industry Director for Airports and Ports in Bentley, and David Elliott, Director Aviation in our consultancy company, Cohesive. We are going to take you through the following topics today. As a start, David is going to give some background and context, the challenges we hear from airports and the drivers for change, also give a perspective on information management across asset lifecycle to support digital transformation. Then I will come back and present solutions for continuous and collaborative execution of capital projects and information management in general, as well as how simplified access to trusted data can result in substantial savings and different improvements. And finally, David will come back and present how to define a digital strategy to support the implementation of the digital transformation. But first, just introduce Bentley, where we are obviously an international company providing leading engineering solution to advance the world's infrastructure to make the world more efficient, resilient, and sustainable. We have more than 5,000 employees internationally, and we serve the market with a wide portfolio of advanced solutions. Specifically for airports and its supply chain, we provide an extensive portfolio of open engineering solutions for design, geotechnical solutions, mobility simulation, but primarily we provide effective information management solution for complete asset lifecycle for the dynamic airport with lots of projects and restructuring, etc. It can continuous change. Secondly, open engineering grade airport digital twin solution that serve as a foundation for implementation of different services and to simplify access to data in the organization, as well as consulting services provided by our company Cohesive to deliver implementation of processes and solutions for the asset lifecycle. So with that, please, David, if you could give us some background. Thank you.
For airports, there are many challenges that we face every day. Some of the ones that are often stated are around ensuring a good passenger experience. Our passengers are fundamentally the ones who are impacted by what happens across the airport from an operational and a delivery perspective. Of course, their experience can also be coloured by what happens before they actually get to the airport. So anything we can do to understand that and make their experience better will lead to a positive outcome for our passengers. Alongside this, we need to drive for operational excellence. The ecosystem of an airport is truly unique, with multiple teams, functions and companies all having to work together in order to ensure a smooth operation every day. Schedules are tight, turnaround is tight, refueling, cleaning, offloading, loading all has a plethora of people and data involved. How we use that data makes a difference. At most airports, there is also a constant set of building works ongoing. This doesn't have to be as big as a new terminal or a new runway. Simply updating infrastructure and maintaining assets needs a whole number of projects, some integrated and some standalone, that need to be delivered within an operational environment, taking care not to impact the operation or the passenger experience. Add to all of that the drive for doing everything in a sustainable way. managing waste, monitoring carbon emissions, designing solutions to be the most sustainable they can be, adds an additional focus on everything. Oh, and of course, on top of that, and more important than everything else, is the fact that safety and security is paramount. Everything I mentioned needs to be done in a safe manner. No accidents, nobody getting hurt, and no physical or digital security challenges. So, with all of that in mind, then shouldn't anything we can help to achieve a better passenger experience via operational excellence and good project execution be grabbed with both hands? We believe that the use of data across all aspects of an airport will deliver those desired outcomes via efficient flow of information and ultimately a better and more timely set of decisions being made. And if we look at the infrastructure projects alone, this slide shows just how many there are and the costs associated with them. Some of them are huge. Dubai has unveiled a $35 billion plan to create the largest airport in the world out of the Emirates' second largest airfield, the Al Maktoum International Airport. The massive project will enable the airport to surpass and eventually replace the existing Dubai International Airport, which is currently the busiest in the world for international traffic, a title it's held for a full decade. The same is, of course, valid for smaller restructuring, improvement and maintenance activities that typically have the same challenges. Specifically, in the USA, there's a government-funded airport improvement program. The funding is for digital technologies and the processes for management and construction and engineering activities. It includes systems for infrastructure planning and coordination through design, construction, maintenance, modernization and management. It also includes asset management. And additionally, there's support for the development of systems to enhance and share data across an asset's lifecycle and between organizational silos, effectively referred to as maximizing interoperability. Therefore, better usable data is the key to addressing the changing landscape. We have an opportunity to reimagine infrastructure. Here's a great visual on the impact of the value of information utilizing a traditional handover approach across the infrastructure lifecycle. The infrastructure sector will not be able to overcome the challenges being faced with a traditional approach. So, for example, rather than regressing from 3D to 2D on digital paper being lost during construction, designers, constructors, and owner-operators need to be adding intelligence and moving from 3D to 4D and beyond. But in order to do this, we must break data free from the silos of files. A more data-centric approach is needed to maintain the value of information across the life cycle. If we look at it from an owner-operator's perspective, they are likely to have thousands of assets, all at various stages of their life cycle and with all the various degrees of information associated with the asset. Let's take a look at the asset life cycle. There's design, construction, operation and maintenance, and how our solutions help in each of these stages. You've probably heard about the phrase cradle to grave. However, in reality, the data and information we can build relating to an asset starts earlier. I'm now hearing the phrase lust to dust. So from the point of inception, data associated with an asset is created: size, structure, shapes, properties, etc. Importantly nowadays, embodied carbon. All of this data is now associated with an asset. Then through the design and construction process, more data is added: location, installation, commissioning, etc. However, one of the challenges we have is in ensuring that the right information is made available at the right time. This is where standards such as ISO 19650 come in from a capital perspective and ISO 55000 from an asset management perspective. So fundamentally starting early in defining data needs is a critical step in ensuring owner-operators get the data needed to make good decisions. Let's just dig into that a little. In large projects, data continuously changes and many organizations are involved. It requires strict data governance to support efficient collaboration and proper data structure to be defined in a project information model. The operations with different purposes and different use cases need an asset information, but the two need to come together. And this slide shows a connected workflow of constant and progressive assurance of data in the creation of your asset information model throughout a project and the digital asset lifecycle being built from continuous data handover. Data is delivered from many contractors and from many authoring tools. A digital twin platform is key to support this seamless working and continuous improvements without losing data. Achieving the seamless data flow, of course, needs a strategy for defining the process, the organization, and system requirements. So I guess the first question we have to ask is, do you have the process and systems to efficiently support all of these challenges? So, digital twins. Don't just take our word for the capabilities that they bring. The market's waking up to the value of an infrastructure digital twin. These quotes are from leading infrastructure industry magazines around the world. But none of this is standard across airports, and it certainly isn't easy. There are real benefits to be had from both a capital and an operations perspective, though. I'll finish by sharing some of those benefits that can be achieved throughout the life cycle of an asset. We'll start with data availabilities and the savings that can be achieved through a capital project. In a recent engagement, we identified that 15% of the capital cost was on data, and of that, 10% of that data was lost. I'll let you do your own calculations to see how much you could save if the data loss was removed. Then at handover, standard delivery from completion to handover to operations can take months. The cost of resource, data, and information management. If the data requested had been provided and kept accurate, then this handover should actually be iterative and seamlessly. And finally, within operations, with another client, we found that misinformation associated with an asset was leading to an average of 3 maintenance operative visits before a problem was resolved. Reducing this down to 2, or of course 1, would save millions, in many cases actually improve the passenger experience. And then I guess the big one is surveying. It's almost a custom that before any new project there'll be a survey of the environment that the project will be located in. This is because they don't trust the data. Millions, literally millions, is spent every year on this. So at this point I'm going to hand over to Håkan, and he's going to take a little bit more of a detailed look at the asset delivery lifecycle and where we can help.
Thank you, David. The airport challenges we just heard about aligns well with the trends we see in other infrastructure sectors. The growing demand to meet the increased demand, there is a need to upgrade aging infrastructure, but also to expand and build new infrastructure. Drives for better tools to optimize existing assets, but also to build new more efficiently. Complexity increase, which means there's a need for better tools to visualize context, to collaborate, to communicate to stakeholders, and to make more consolidated assessments and decisions. Data fragmentation drives the need to governance, structure, and open philosophy to connect data systems as airport and other owners expect to receive more data more aligned to be set into operation. As well as the resource constraints, difficult to recruit and keep qualified employees, drives the need for automation and guided procedures to replace repetitive and time-consuming tasks. Let us come back to the infinity loop showing the life cycle phases, the design, construction, operation, maintenance. Infinity loop showing the stages with its activities and the information evolving across the stages. Capital project is actually a golden opportunity to review the processes and systems to improve project execution and a smooth transition to operation. As mentioned, much of the data for assets is created in this life cycle, and this ensures a structure to leverage the data in later stages. Many different contractors, lots of data created, critical timelines, etc. The same process and system is obviously relevant for the constant change in redesign, restructuring, maintenance activity. Data need to be updated to reflect the reality, and a process need to be in place to update the different sources of information, the design, construction documentation, and the asset data for operation. The digital twin lives across the different life cycle phases in our view to support the access to trusted data and how it evolves during the life cycle. So just we have explained the need for relevant and trusted data to support achieving the business objectives in the airport, the data needed to support different applications and to help build the infrastructure that is reliable and resilient. Our iTwin, the infrastructure digital twin, is a foundational component to help address these challenges. iTwin is embedded in Bentley's product for lifecycle information management and also our product for open applications for different engineering applications. All our applications will contribute to connect data, create, edit, and update data in the digital twin. The digital twin is based on open philosophy for multi-vendor environment of multiple parties, design tools, formats, different repositories, and different enterprise system and other systems to be connected. It's the core that provides an open connectivity of data from various vendors, formats, and types, like geospatial data, CAD data, point clouds, IoT, as well as the connectivity to other enterprise systems. It is by design for critical infrastructure with engineering-grade robustness and granularity with connectors to standard and common brands in the market. By providing a single source of truth, it helps to make better decisions to maintain aging infrastructure, design and build new infrastructure faster, and improve sustainability. It provides a complete picture and increased collaboration to mitigate the complexity and risk. It helps to eliminate the data silos and fragmentation and reduce the resource constraints by better processes and automation. Compared to other digital twin solutions, iTwin is unique, being open for the multi-vendor environment, and is designed for engineering heavy environment and critical infrastructure. So Bentley's portfolio of solutions for project delivery and construction management are already established and proven to support large, complex infrastructure projects globally. Project-wise, for design, collaboration, and Synchro for construction management solution are widely used in the market. Our solutions are now grouped and will evolve under our Bentley Infrastructure Cloud portfolio. This is the new generation project delivery solution connecting people and data throughout the lifecycle. It's the key and the vision for Bentley Infrastructure Cloud to support data-centric structure of information management rather than a file-based philosophy. Bentley Infrastructure Cloud again supports collaborative approach over the lifecycle phases in creating and leveraging infrastructure digital twins for a more collaborative and continuous design, build, and operate experience. The foundational principles that we are working under are integrated workflows, a consistent user experience in the different products and over the life cycles, the data-centric foundation, easy consumption and access to data in all phases, as well as the openness. We're not talking about a full Bentley environment, but to support a multi-vendor environment. So one of the objectives has been to link the design and construction workflow tighter into a unified solution of integrated cloud-based application for all types of user across the phases of lifecycle, creating the digital twin for the collaborative and continuous design, build, and operate experience for project delivery and asset performance. For the project delivery, it has, of course, functions to connect data, to coordinate people and processes, and support the collaborative workflows. Also to validate the information that is fed into the digital twin, and the data governance to comply with the requirements for structured data, as well as design workflows and in the construction management for the sequencing and construction management. Here, look at some examples. The communication in projects, having a digital twin and access to updated data, you can easily pull from the data sources for communication and visualization using game engine and other. This is embedded carbon using the data in the digital twin and to associate carbon data for reporting, etc. Here, accessing data in different phases from the digital twin and to do different calculations, including multidisciplinary coordination of designs to avoid clashes, and also to tune the implementation of the project. Here, also giving an overview of projects, not only one of the projects, but multiple projects to avoid clashes between project activities, and with the possibility to not only have the overview, but also to go into the details of individual project and the status of those. And also to look at the sequencing of projects to do the optimal project execution in the different aspects of sustainability and efficiency, and avoid planning mistakes and disruption of the airport traffic. Here you can see also side by side comparison of different alternatives. Here, ultimately, when data is developed over the time in the digital twin, and you have the representation with the updated data and all the documentation, we also connectivity to other systems like the SAP Maximo asset management systems, and to have a more complete and holistic view of certain areas or as a whole of the airport. Here also seeing the possibility to integrate IoT data for the operational parts of the airport, linking other subsystem responsible for baggage or gate handling or other, and to provide that into combined with the spatial and the digital twin view of the airport. So those were some examples where we also do, of course, implementing and using these digital twin powered tools and information management systems. These two examples are from China, very large airport projects, and used by the contractors and the end user to improve the efficiency and the quality of the project, as well as here more modular, the construction and the coordination of projects. Dallas Airport using our solution in the infrastructure cloud Synchro solution for communication and to coordinate the different project among contractors and the stakeholders in the airport. As well as this example at Seattle Airport, where Clark Construction, the contractor, had responsibility for implementation of a pedestrian bridge, and it was very critical to avoid disruption of the airport traffic, and thereby used the sequencing to schedule and optimize all the activities to minimize the disruption of the traffic. And so those were some examples of tooling and where you can use a more structured data and different technologies to help you in the process. So going over to the other, assuming now you have the structure of a digital twin, you have structured data from different sources. You often see the need to have this holistic, complete airport view. So implemented separately or as an extension to the infrastructure cloud, this solution, the portal solution we have, is leveraging the iTwin platform and connects relevant asset data in the airport into a single point of airport view, a portal that can be easily configured for different users and user and roles. The airport can connect and change data layers easily and simplify access, provide access to previously hidden data. And that can include geospatial data, CAD data, point clouds, databases, sensors, but also connections to enterprise systems like Maximum, SAP, Oracle, and others. So the power of the connectivity of data and visual presentation make it a perfect solution as a window into the airport operation and projects. You can build up the structure over time and adding layers of information gradually as the need comes, which means a smooth implementation. And as I said, it can be implemented separately as a start of just surfacing data from different sources and connecting to existing data sources that you have. In contrast to other twin applications focusing on geospatial information, this solution is designed for critical infrastructure, for infrastructure data with high resolution engineering information, and data can in most cases be leveraged in the digital twin in its original format without conversion. So here again, some of you may have seen Sydney Airport already. They are and continuously developing the portal view, the Maps at Syd portal, a portal that is provided to the employees and the staff in the airport, and giving this possibility to access data from in different aspects. There are different entries into to access the digital twin, and the various information includes project overviews, technical overviews, environmental aspects, but also commercial team is using it to access data for lease information and also the impact of different maintenance activities, or what retail activities would be impacted by a shutdown or power, for example. This is showing the Berlin airport, the granularity of information that can be provided, including BIM models and the components of BIM models, and to have associated data from other repositories of documentation and other systems. So basically, kind of this portal solution gives a possibility for different various disciplines of the airport, different staff and departments, the projects, to potentially give an overview of different projects going on, to have a full overview of all the projects, not only the capital project, but also maintenance activities and other. You can link also the the different data that is relevant for the early planning of projects as well. And that having this access and more comprehensive data gives simplifies the planning work. The airport service, as well as maintenance, to access data and to previously hidden data. So meaning that you would over time be more you would trust the data, and thereby you can reduce the level of field activities and maybe do more preparation before going on site, and thereby minimize disruption. Also affects the safety. Commercial, we mentioned, but also the group that is handling information typically to free up time to actually improve the portal instead of delivering specific requests of data to different stakeholders. As I mentioned, the implementation can be in steps. You can prioritize and depending on the need, but connect different asset data that you have available, and there is a wide range of connectivity supported from different types of formats and data types. You can link with our connectivity solution as well to enterprise systems and other subsystems for baggage handling and other systems, as well as link these systems more with operational data and IoT data, and to link that to the spatial view. Just also to reflect on artificial intelligence, which is also many times mentioned. This is showing two examples of artificial intelligence, AI in real life, embedded into our products. This is a site preparation product that we just launched, Open Site Plus. That gives you a possibility to optimize designs gradually using the capabilities, and also to interact with text of changes, and it gives instruction and makes optimization of different aspects. Here's another example of detecting and processing data imagery to identify defects and objects and markings, etc., to simplify the inspection workflows and to automate that. So very quick on this application. Sorry. So just to summarize before I leave to David again. So we have shown different aspects of our airport solutions, covering the life cycle from operational side of situational awareness and creating this holistic view of the airport, and to support collaborative working and simplify the access to data, but also in the capital projects, support the planning and the design and the construction of integrated workflows, handling data in a structured way, and to provide different tools for sustainability improvements and collaboration along the process to make the project more efficient, and support a better model-based and data-driven structure of the delivery to you as an airport from the contractor. So and this is of course an overview, and we are happy to take your questions in the end as well. So David, please.
As you've seen, we have the technology available. However, it's really important that there is a clear purpose to the use of the technology and it all integrates together to maximize benefits and opportunities. We take an advisory-led approach and help owner-operator clients to better physically and digitally design, construct, and operate their enterprise and the associated assets by harnessing the power of the data and the information within their organizations and really unlock their business value. It's through our subject matter expertise, our deep domain and sector knowledge, and our business acumen that, combined with our tried and tested, repeatable advisory frameworks, that we ensure outcomes for all of our clients. Our services are split into 3 key areas to ensure a route to value for clients. Firstly, we've got our strategy setting, which focuses on the identifying and quantifying of C-suite business level outcomes. We use our value creation framework and the associated workshops to create a line of sight between current state and future state over agreed time horizons. It documents North Stars, levels of effort, objectives, and key results. It creates benefit pathways and aligns return on investment and time to value. In turn, our solution definition services take specific problems, use cases, and identified horizons from our value creation activities, and then we focus in more detail to help clients understand where they are, where they need to get to, how they get there, and critically, are they ready for the change? Then subsequently, our implementation delivery services facilitate the configuration and the integration of the required processes, the organization, the technology, and this technology could be what you already have and then associated with some technology you're aiming to buy, or even technology you don't think you know yet. All of this is underpinned by our information and data services to the extent that it's required to implement a solution and create a line of sight to the strategic business outcomes. And as I've already mentioned, a critical element of this is the organizational change management requirements, which run across all of the areas that I've just discussed. So we need to understand where you currently are with your data journey. So we do data discovery, we explore the unmapped landscape, we document where the data is in which systems. And then we go through the process of charting the complex interplay of the data from those various systems. We assess the size of the challenge and look at the points of maximum value and where you need to focus. And we create visual interactive diagrams which really help to show the who and the what and the where to really help people understand and communicate the landscape across the organization. And then we look at the data standards and the organizational change required. If we move into the data modeling, we sample and analyze the data and really prioritize it to create a conceptual model and independent model to map the conflicting applications and where we can make improvements. And then we look into the asset information requirements and the project information requirements, and then really importantly, the contract specific rules are established at this point, which is how you get your data from your contractors and your designers, etc. Then we go through the process of acquiring the data. We take the data from the source systems and conform it into a suitable process for being loaded. And really at this point, you've got an opportunity to really make the difference by validating that data. We create a set of rules obviously with your full involvement that allows us then to identify and flag inaccurate or anomalous information, which can then be passed back to be corrected, and then we can move on. And there's various levels that we can go through in terms of that data validation process. Once we've got through all of that, then you put the data into context. You can show exactly what it looks like and how it's going to be used, make things more findable, make the analysis easier. And then into the analysis, we go through the solution, a bit of a navigation process, and then you can use that data, and we prepare tailor-made Power BI reports so that you can then generate your understanding. The critical thing is this master data management ensures that uniformity, accuracy, stewardship, and the consistency across all of that master data. It removes any duplications and it creates a rich data set that's reliable and is an authoritative source of truth. Once you've got all of this, then airport teams can look to a digital twin to help them to truly know their assets and really understand them and reduce the costs associated with those assets and improve sustainability as we go. So taking the first steps of establishing a usable set of data that provides the right benefits will give you a real digital twin of value. And in terms of where you are on the overall journey of using your digital data, then this graphic just serves to show the various types of twins and the associated use cases that will derive even more benefits. Let's take a look at a couple of the examples. In an informative twin, perhaps you can compare different designs to see the impact in terms of time, cost, and sustainability. Another example would be sharing health and safety risks and issues across multiple projects in an efficient manner, leading to a safer environment for all those involved in both the delivery and maintenance of assets. As you travel up the pyramid, then your data can be used for predictive analysis to identify asset management plans for your assets, and potentially you start to allow to make automatic decisions on those maintenance requirements. So across all of this, maturity is driven by the use case and the outcomes required. So different use cases will demand different levels of maturity. And an airport-wide digital twin allows you to have a different set of maturities across different use cases, all delivering at different stages of the asset life cycle. At each point, you're getting the benefit that is associated with the right maturity of a digital twin for the outcomes you're trying to achieve. So at this point, I think it's time to bring it all together. So ultimately, everything relating to asset information flow through an airport will in some way link to operational excellence and passenger experience. We've tried to show you not only what technology can provide, but most importantly, what the development of a clear strategy for a digital and data liberation and usage will lead to. There'll be huge opportunities and associated benefits that we've tried to articulate. So thank you for your time, and we'll now open up for some questions.
All right. Thank you very much for our speakers, Hakan, Neil, and supporting us is also David and Neil Posey for some questions. I have a couple of questions right now. Let me start off with this one. What specific challenges do you face in managing information during the planning and execution of airport projects?
I can take that one, John, if you like.
Yes, please.
So I'm going to put a slightly different spin on this because I guess my focus while I'm here is around organisational change. But I suppose the most simple and obvious answer is just the vast amounts of data that you have to manage through the various phases of the project, from capex into opex, and also ensuring that that data is accurate, trustworthy, in one place, and accessible. So I guess my first point there is that don't forget the basics. If you do nothing more, or you take nothing more away from this particular webinar, it is that make sure your data is collected. You ask for the data that you want, particularly as an operator. You make sure that you can arbitrate the quality of that data and manage that, and put it in a place where people can get at it when they need it. The people side of things I really wanted to focus on, and I'm just thinking of a couple of examples here, is I guess we've come across clients who would say, and particularly in the airport sector, who have great relationships with their supply chain, for example, and those supply chain relationships have lasted over years, and they've also got good processes, and they're asking for the right data, and they're putting them in contracts. And the danger is you then become complacent because you think, well, I've asked for the right things, I'm just going to get it. I'm just going to get the right information, and I've got some technology that can do some quality checks on that. But don't forget boots on the ground. People you'll need as part of your data governance, and part of being, I guess, a intelligent and assertive digital client, is that you've got to demonstrate to your supply chain that you knew what you were asking for, and that you're prepared to police that, is the best way of saying it. So you need people as well as technology to sit back to back with your supply chain to make sure that you can check that data. The other example I would give is, don't underestimate how, and I have this term about equivalence. We talk about digital twins, and I think traditionally we focus on physical things, physical assets, and particularly in handover, we're focused on quality checks that are around the physical taking into operation of an asset. But also, let's not forget the information that's part of that handover. And I know, there are many clients who are really clued up about that now, but I think we've got a long way to go. And what I mean is, if we take that asset into operation, we've also got to be clear that we've got the information we need to maintain it ongoing. And it's a bit of carrot and stick, but basically we need to sort of manage our supply chain to say, you've given us the physical thing, we know it can work, but if you haven't given us the data that we need, then you're going to have a penalty for that. We're not going to take that into operation. I'm being careful here, I don't hog too much time, but I hope that gives an example. There was an obvious answer there around data quality, but also just don't forget how a digital way of working affects your people, and we can help with that.
Thank you very much, Neil. That was very, very insightful answer. And there's a couple more questions, and we have still a bit more time. Second question, based on the discussion about information lifecycle management as a strategy to streamline projects, what are your thoughts on its effectiveness? Maybe David?
Yes, thank you, John. I think it's based on really understanding the multiple facets of your project. So you need to look at how many projects you have, where they are in the life cycle, particularly with your capital projects. Is there any opportunities to make sure that you make the most of the information that you're getting across multiple projects and bring that together? We sort of look at this in aligning with standards. So if you look at ISO 19650, that is effectively a whole information lifecycle approach and defining your information management right up front, as Neil alluded to, including the information you need at each phase of the project. I think what we're finding today is that there is a focus on data, and that is effectively starting to drive quality improvements and starting to drive improvements in your life cycle from your early design phases through into the construction elements, particularly because of ISO 19650. It's very prevalent in the UK, and of course you don't need to follow ISO 19650, and many countries around the world don't, but it's a good structure. So if you take the tenets of that standard, then that's going to help you with your life cycle management. And one of the big areas, and we mentioned it earlier, there we can see value and significant savings is in the handover. So the handover of information, if you keep the data and everything up to date through the whole capital projects, the handover should be relatively easy. And then if you look at another standard in ISO 55000, which is your asset management standard, then if you align to something like that across the sort of the operational phase of your assets, then again that defines very clearly your strategic asset management plan, what you're trying to achieve with your assets, all of your predictive maintenance, etc., and then that can feed back around. So we see it as a holistic view, streamlining both your projects in terms of what you're getting should be aligned across all of the projects, so there's not great variations in quality of data and the types of data you're asking for. And also the same thing in your operations world, be there operational projects or be just keeping the lights on approach. All of that is so important that it feeds back round to try and win those massive opportunities in having data for your second go around of projects being such a great quality that you don't need to worry about starting doing surveys, etc. So I think that's the best we can offer. It can be really effective, but you've got to have something to hang your expectations on, and our sort of approach is to hang our expectations on ISO standards.
Thank you very much, David. And you mentioned about predictive maintenance a while just now. There's a third question. I think this could be our last if we're going to be running out of time now. How can digital twin be useful for predictive maintenance or reliability management? So either of you can answer this.
I can take that, I think. I mean, my obvious response would be during the course of the webinar, I think Hakan was, there was a short slide he had about AI. I mean, she was showing the runway example with cracks. So that ability to look at that data that's collected within the digital twin, analyze it, and look how the current state can be read into the future. So where is that crack? Is it going to spread? What's the propagation of that crack? So, but this is all about bringing data sets together, correlating them to make it predictive. I'm thinking of a good example. It's a non-airport one. Try and make it real. And this was on, and this might be in a previous life before I was a consultant, but we're going to take a very simple asset. Let's take a pipe hanger. It's always a good one. Very simple metallic element. So your maintenance regime for that might be that you know they degrade over time, and you replace a whole run of pipe hangers every, let's say, 5 or 6 years. But if that pipe hanger, and you knew the material properties of that pipe hanger from the the product specification, and you married that with environmental data or location data, where is it? I mean, it could be outside the building, it could be inside the building, so it's going to corrode faster outside. It could be in a seaward facing location exposed to salt air. But my point is, if you take that additional data set, its location, where it's facing, prevailing wind, temperature, all those kind of things, each of those individual pipe hangers will degrade, if you like, at a different rate, so that you can be far more targeted and focused on replacing them when you know they're going to fail, and not a whole run of them, but maybe it just may be one or two, or a section on a particular part of the building. So you're starting to be much more intelligent about refining your maintenance strategy, and that can be much more cost effective. So I know that was a sort of a simple example, John, a pipe hanger, but you could extend that same analogy to other assets that are more complicated.
All right, thank you very much. And I think we're almost at the end of our session for today. There's a couple more questions, but we will answer them accordingly, and we will send this across via email to all of the attendees today and all the audience. I would like to remind everyone that there will be before I leave this, for everyone else, there will be a survey that's going to be popping out right after this session. So this, please, for the audience, please do take time, and thank you for taking your time to answer this survey. And either that you can answer them right up, or through the emails as well. Okay, now, so we are now 1 minute before the time, so I'll bring back 1 minute to the audience. And thank you again, once again, for our speakers, Hakan, David, and Neil, and especially for all our audience. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice day, and stay safe.